Time now for our point counterpoint this morning. The Democratic National Convention wrapped up and America gets its first woman presidential nominee. Here to talk about the DNC hits and misses, Glenn Smith with Progress Texas and Matt Makoviak from the Potomac Strategy Group. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me.
Happy to be here.
Well, let's begin with Hillary Clinton's speech. Some say it fell flat and that there we were expecting more. What was your take on it? Matt, let's start with you.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think there were some great speeches at the Democratic Convention. President Obama, Michelle Obama, Vice President Biden. This one didn't measure up to those, but I thought in terms of what Hillary Clinton is capable of doing in terms of speech making, I thought it was fairly good. In my mind, it was a tale of two speeches. The first half was really, I think, poetry. And then she pivoted away once she said she accepted the nomination more to sort of a laundry list that you might hear in a State of the Union of sort of liberal priorities. And so from that perspective, I think it's fair to say it was the most liberal speech we've seen from a major party nominee accepting their nomination at a party convention. But look, I think overall, as much as I hate to admit it, I think the Democratic National Convention achieved everything they needed strategically. I think they broadened their appeal. They were patriotic. You know, they just did everything they needed to do. They showcased their stars. They had huge television audiences. They did a lot of the things Republicans did not achieve the week before in Cleveland, and it hurts me to say that.
Good review. Glenn, what do you say?
Well, I'm happy to agree with Matt on this one. I think Hillary did a superb job start to finish, however. I think she did the important thing, which was to appear presidential. She did it with a touch of humor, with a lot of feeling, covered a lot of ground. But the thing that she really accomplished, I believe, was to show America what a president is like and what kind of president she will be. She was strong, she was direct, she was open, she was honest, she was reassuring. She was all those things people want to see in a president. And when you compare that kind of presence to the incoherent, almost chaotic Donald Trump, it's even stronger.
Now let's address the lack of unity, because we have to admit that there was a bit of lack of unity between Clinton and Sanders supporters. At one point, even Bernie himself wasn't able to rally his people. They even booed him sometimes. We also had the Bernie delegate walkout. So we have to ask, how will Democrats be able to finally come together? Glenn, let's start with you.
Well, they will come together. They always come together. But I want to make two quick points. I think that the Bernie Sanders supporters during this election cycle have done the country a great service. I think they have opened our eyes to certain needs, for instance, on Citizens United or the burden of student loans. I think putting those things front and center, they get a lot of credit for that. I think that it's a small number of them who continued to, you know, I don't know, raise their voices, cause a little trouble or whatever. By the time the election rolls around, Democrats will be unified behind Hillary Clinton and against Donald Trump.
Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I think what's interesting here is Bernie Sanders has had a great impact on the Democrat Party. If you look at, obviously, getting rid of the DNC chairwoman, a strategic goal he's had for months. You look at moving Hillary to the left on the so-called debt-free college plan, on trade, even I think on issues like Wall Street reform. I think all those areas, Hillary's moved to the left, and she's done that because of the success of Bernie Sanders' campaign. Look, there are some dead-ender Bernie Sanders supporters, delegates at the convention that were going to, you know, sort of protest as much as possible. We'll see. Look, at the end of the day, the candidate that wins the presidency usually gets 92, 93% of their own party's votes. Is getting that right now. So they both have to unify their side before they can reach out to moderate voters from the other party and independents. I think the Democratic convention was probably more unifying than the Republican convention, but they both face challenges in this regard. There's no question.
One of the most notable moments of the convention, gentlemen, took place during the pregame with the DNC email hack. A lot of fallout from that. Soon after, though, we have Donald Trump encouraging Russia to hack Hillary Clinton's emails. He says he was just being sarcastic, but is that really something to joke about? Let's talk about security purposes, just for America in general. Matt, let's start with you.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a joke, I guess. He was trying to be funny, maybe, but I think it's, you know, not something he should have done. He should apologize for it. He hasn't really done that yet. But this isn't about Russia. The DNC hack is about the content of the emails. It's not about who found them and who released them. And so what's clear is that the DNC chairwoman, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and the Hillary Clinton campaign were in collusion for over a year, and they were lying about it to the public. So if you were a Bernie Sanders supporter, I totally understand why you're frustrated. It does make you feel like there was a rigged system in the Democratic primary. So we'll see. I mean, if there are more leaks to come, we'll see what the content is. I don't think it's appropriate for Russia to be engaging in our election in any way, nor would it be appropriate for any other country to do that.
Glenn?
Well, I think we have to look beyond what apparently are Russian hacks of an American political campaign to the relationship of the Republican Party nominee, Donald Trump, to Vladimir Putin and Russia. Clearly, by Trump's family's own admission, they have a lot of money pouring into them from Russia, and he is, on the other side, announcing policies that are very pro-Russia. For instance, letting them go into Crimea, withdrawing from NATO, for crying out loud, our most important, probably post-World War II foreign policy. So I think we need to look harder at Trump's relationship with Russia, because I think that's important beyond these hacks, which are bad enough.
All right, we don't have much particular moment at the DNC, good or bad, that stuck out. What was it and why? Quickly, Glenn, let's start with you.
I think it was Hillary Clinton's presidential appearance. I think she presented a really appealing, powerful, straight ahead, what a president's supposed to be in America, and I think that's the most powerful moment out of either convention.
And Matt, what about you?
Yeah, I hated seeing the booing of the Medal of Honor recipient and of the former Secretary of Defense, Leon Panetta. That said, I did think it was very powerful to see the father of the slain Muslim soldier make the speech that he gave. That is something that will live on for years and years.
Thank you both for your candid thoughts. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Well, friends, creating a lifelong bond. We'll hear from the two